What's your sense of what the strategy is here with the current administration's policies as of today?
Well, it's a lot of people would say, and especially within the media, that it's protectionist, and it certainly may be prescribed as so. And especially when you're competing in a global economy, you're going to need global actors that will support you. And even though the United States has the largest economy within the world, truly it needs allies to counter China because the China threat is growing. Their power projection is strengthening, even though their internal economy, as we discussed before, is on the collapse and seems to be in shambles. But I think there are other opportunities that the United States can use that can dissuade from tariffs and also just promote the well being of the rules based international order. And one of them is the World Trade Organization. Donald Trump isn't the biggest fan of the World Trade Organization, but it is decently effective. And the United States has a track record of not only bringing complaints and filing disputes within the World Trade Organization's parameters, but they also have won the most out of all of the countries that have filed within the World Trade Organization. Actually, in fact, from 2006 to 2017, you saw that the US brought 20 formal WTO disputes against the Chinese government. But in that same period, they only filed 12 against all other countries. Most of the time, they ruled within the United States' favor and tried to level the playing field within China. So it condemned China's treatment of, as we discussed before, movies, books, TV, music, and just their alleged failure to enforce intellectual property. So those are mechanisms that are in place. There are also international trade courts that you could appeal to have some punitive rulings. And if China doesn't obey, they get fined, they get sanctioned, and just abiding by some of these rules. And even the Cato Institute would say that the WTO is member driven. They announced this in a 2023 report looking at some of these mechanisms. And they said it can be biased against the United States because of its winning record, and also because it is one body that is composed of members with one another. There isn't an overarching institution. So it's one where it's a level playing field and people can just sort it out there, as opposed to isolating themselves and trying to figure it out all by themselves.
Do they abide by WTO rulings?
Does China abide by them?
Yeah, right.
Most of the time, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I mean, we're seeing now with our own Supreme Court, if you don't want to listen to them, then I guess you just don't have to. And that's usually the problem with like an autocratic way of thinking. So, all right, where would you like to see us go?